Hey, we are back with our third workshop of the day, guys. Obviously, this is going to be, it's going to be a great one because I love being a geek on automation. So this is literally just going to be like two geeks having a chat, telling people exactly how to automate their business, stop burning out, stop hustling, and actually look at his face. Look at his face. He's happy. Guylin is happy. He's chilled out because things work for him. And like, I'm just super excited. How are you, pal? You okay?
Yeah, things are great, man. How are you guys?
Yeah, apart from the weather, mate, it's raining, but it's Britain, so what you expect? All it does is it's going to rain now till October, well, no, till March, I think. So
Uh,
who?
Ours is not much. Ours is not better. We got about 30 degrees, and I don't see any clouds. So yeah, I'll send you a picture.
Oh, cheers, mate. Thanks. Really make me feel better. So obviously the topic of this conversation is all about like automation and funnels and why even at um an early stage in your business, having a funnel is a fucking good idea. Now I know from different marketplaces and stuff like that, and different marketers, you'll see like, oh, like start your own business, no funnels, no email marketing, no this, no that required. And they rarely sell that aspect. What they're actually doing, and you'll probably agree with me, is actually like setting those guys up basically to burn out. Would you agree?
Dude, absolutely.
And obviously, like, because it automates everything, doesn't it? Like, it's so like, why do you sell funnels to your clients? Like, why did they come and go, I want a funnel? What's those pain points that they're trying to solve?
I mean, if you look at any business online, I mean, they are. Where's the first place you go to go and look for something? If you buy a car, if you buy a TV, if you buy, I mean, I was telling you now, we're looking at like an inverter, a new screen, whatever. Where do you go? You go online, you search for it, you get information, you start making a decision. That's how we all work. Obviously, there's people make decisions at different stages. We're all different in terms of that, but we need information to make that decision. If you can't land somewhere to make, you'll get those people, they buy immediately. You get those people that need a little bit more information, a little bit more time, and you need those that need to be constantly reminded to buy it. And where do you do that? All through automation, all because you've got a piece of real estate being a funnel, for people to go back to without you having to bother them and say, hey, did you do you want to buy? Do you want to do this? Do you want to do that? Which is what the organic side of things has become. And that was where, firstly, if you saw, I mean, I came into the space kind of at the end of 2020, so COVID had already hit. We've seen what it did to businesses that were reliant on, I mean, I had a retail business, thank God it survived, but if we just saw what the impact was, you realize that a lot more people have got the skill set to come online. And even if they can't make their full business online, they still need the online aspect to generate clients, because all of a sudden you also realize that your scope of clients is a lot wider than you thought, and that's a lot more accessible. And that kind of got going down the funnel aspect, just to understand about strategies, how you put it in front of clients, how you get them there, and that's kind of where it went down. And yeah, now we're sitting here providing clients with funnels because they realize that they need it and they don't want to do it themselves. I think that's the biggest pain point. The overarching pain point is they know they need it, they don't know how it works, they don't want to do it themselves. They just know that it does work and we need to do it for them.
And you are right. Like, obviously, a lot of people just want the funnel done for them. But like, before they get to the aspect of they need a funnel or they understand they need a funnel, like, what is the for someone who like who's coming into this, who's literally just about to start their online business, probably can't obviously afford an agency. Like, why would someone build a funnel?
So, like I actually did this experiment at the beginning of this year. I joined a very high-end coaching program that was specifically around organic marketing, and the one thing that it was a fantastic thing. So, I didn't get the result in terms of what I wanted out of following the organic program, but I got access to listening constantly on group calls what pain points coaches were going through. And the biggest thing was, everybody's talking about volume, DM more, post more, do this more, create. And it's easy because it's easy to say to you, listen, Brian, you just need to DM more. It's like, it's an easy way to shift the weight off my shoulders to you, right? And that's pretty much what they're doing. There's no thought involved in that. It's just like, just do more. And you're like, dude, I've only got so many hours in a day. So, I mean, talking about, you know, clients coming in and realizing that they need a funnel is because they quickly realize that doing everything manually is, I think there's two kinds of people. The ones that like just dive in and keep doing it full out and then realize after 6 months that they are burning out. And there's ones that look at this whole process and they're like, if I keep doing this, I am going to burn out. So there has to be another way to do it. You know, there's a lot of online businesses that don't want a team of 20 people. They don't want to sit 8 hours a day just doing DMs. They don't want, it's like, you know, it's as if everybody forces everyone into this box of having a business with 20 employees doing $1 million a month. There's so many other people out there that just want a lifestyle business. They want to travel. They want to spend time with their kids. I mean, look at you. You don't want to be busy for 10 hours a day. You've got kids, you've got family, you've got friends, it's the same with me. It's like, you know, you get to a point where it's like having more is not going to make you any happier. You actually wouldn't mind a little bit less so that you have more time on your hands to do what you want to do. And I think that's where the coaches were realizing, like when they were coming in, is, you know, there's certain strategies that work around the organic in terms of starting a business and testing an offer. But then let's get that into an automation process as quickly as possible. And then once they do dabble in the actual building the funnel themselves, you know, testing it, seeing that, listen, it's not as easy as, you know, Clickfunnels make it sound by just plugging a few things here and getting it going. They then realize that, you know, the capital outlay to get it done properly, quickly, is outweighed by the benefit of having it done once, and this thing can last you, you'll know, 2, 3, 4 years. If just set up properly, you know. And I think that's what the people are missing, is that the foundation is never built. They're building a foundation on a very rocky surface. Instead of spending the money to build it, it's like it's kind of building your house on sand without throwing a concrete layer. You know, it'll possibly stand for a few months, but, you know, I mean, you've just seen the hurricane in Florida. It's like, you know, you need something similar like that, and your house falls down, where the other one's better built will withstand it. It's the same as what we're going through now with the whole world economy that's in a bit of shambles. It's like, you know, it's the guys that built the proper foundation, that spent the money, the time to take time to build long term, are now starting to see the benefits of it, instead of looking at everything short term and trying to make, you know, 10K within 1 month of coming online with having zero offer. So yeah,
I think obviously, like from the funnel perspective and why, like, I've literally, even at no matter what stage of my business, I've always had 1 or 2 funnels running, whether it's a lead magnet funnel, an opt-in funnel, or a sales funnel. So many different things. The reason I've always been like a true advocate of like the funnel is, like, I see all these ads all the time, all these people pitching me, and like, and they go, oh yeah, it's like, you, as I said at the start, I was like, you don't need email marketing, you don't need sales funnels, you don't need to jump on calls, you don't need this and you don't need that. Right, okay, so what do I need to build a business? What, me and 1 million man hours a day that only I can do? It's like, well, what you're doing is, as you say, it's a road to burnout. Like, people who build successful businesses build processes and build systems. Your funnel is that exact one. Now, if you break it down to the guys who always go, you don't need fucking everything. You just need to send some messages and it's all going to work. Like, let's think about it. So you send a message. So you initially reach out, you're disturbing the conversation. You're trying to jump into someone's conversation. Then from there, you're trying to hook them. You're trying to give them enough information and value in your conversation that then leads them wanting to book a call, for instance, or buy your product. Then you, in DMs, you create offers and messages and go, hey, like a call to action, let's book a call, let's take a look at my free group, all of those things. And then obviously you send them the link and they buy or they join or whatever. Like, that is the process that people go through in DMs. And we literally had a conversation in the last workshop about like how many conversations or friend requests you need to send to get 10 clients at the end of the month. It was 500 conversations. Like 500 conversations to get to 10 sales. So imagine if you're doing all of that, disrupting the conversation, so disruptive marketing, or like getting in front of someone's face, then creating a hook enough message that get people to respond, then take them through the value and learn the problem, solve the problem, and then pitch. You're doing that 500 times 4. What do you think some funnel's going to do? You disrupt the conversation, and you can do that with marketing, organic marketing, but have your funnel. They join your funnel through cover photos or call to actions or whatever. They join your funnel, you educate them in an extended VSL, and then you give them an offer at the end. So now you've gone from doing, 500 times 2,000 actions into creating a piece of content a day, all running an ad and sending them to a funnel. You've gone from 2,000 actions a week or a month to 2 a day, like just by having a funnel.
I think the biggest thing for me there is if you take 2,000 conversations, you are not. I'm talking about if, let's say I send the conversations, not even an appointment setter. If I'm sending 2,000 conversations, I'm not consistent in those messages, because one day I'm happy, one day I'm pissed off, one day I'm grumpy, one day I'm happy again. It's like, you know, and it might be the exact client that you need to talk to, and that day you're a little bit off. It's human nature. And you know, the second thing with setting up the funnel once is, I mean, you and I are in the middle of the world, so we can service both sides of, you know, east and west.
Mm-hmm.
But pretty much when we're asleep, the funnel can still carry on doing what it's doing, whether someone from the States or from the Philippines joins. You know, when you're asleep, you can't respond to a message. And remember, those clients are getting another 10 messages every day that you're trying to pitch. They're also getting another 10 people coming in. And as coaches start coaching coaches to coach coaches, all those people are coming in as well. So you can, I mean, the other day I was counting in my DMs. I mean, I literally had 12 of the exact same opening pitch. It, like, literally copy pasted, that you're like, this is terrible. It's like, and the only reason I can speak from this is because I've actually done it. I've gone out and I've messaged people because I wanted to learn, like, what is the feedback? How easy is it? How, you know, and I understand it's a volume game. Like you said, 500 for 10 clients. How sustainable is that? It's like you're burning through, like, the biggest, and I had this conversation with someone the other day. If you take, let's say, 2,000 conversations, I mean, times that by 10, times that by 100, times that's one person having 2,000 conversations. What about the other 500,000 coaches that there are? How many people are we burning through? You know, we don't have an unlimited amount of people. There's only a finite amount of people on the world and capable of buying online to kind of go through. So we're leaving a lot of people behind, because as soon as people don't want to talk to us, we're like, fucking, we'll go look for someone else. And you're like, dude, but he might not buy now, but he might be willing to buy in the future. So coming back to the automated funnel is like, let's say, for example, you've got a funnel set up and someone lands on it and they kind of, you get their email address. I mean, some of those clients are willing to buy immediately. They'll say, listen, Brian, you know, you're exactly what I'm looking for. I'd like to talk further, and let's book a call. Let's buy your course, whatever it is. The next client might be in 2 weeks' time, but because he saw your stuff and you've finished him with email marketing and you've, you know, kind of nurtured this process, and he's watched your content, all of a sudden now they're willing to buy. The next client might be 2 months down the line, might be 2 years down the line, but doing it manually, you're never going to go back to their client. And they're always saying the you know, the stuff's in the follow-up. Tell me, out of 2,000 conversations that you have, how many times you can follow up with them? It's like,
it's insane, isn't it? Like, don't get me wrong, like, there's especially for a startup marketer, DMs are the quickest way to, generate some sales, but it's not the long-term business. And a lot of people just want, like, we've seen an interesting stat on the preview, or one of the previous things was like 4 out of 5 businesses don't make it past year 2.
Yeah.
That's insane. Like, so out of 5 people that I know in this industry, 4 aren't going to make it in 2 years' time, and that's sad and scary. But then when you look at the marketing tactics that are getting taught and that are attractive for people to start with, well, they're all hamster wheel strategies. Like the DMs, yes, it's a great way to get some sales initially, but if you don't transition, or if you don't add another marketing section like a fucking funnel, how long can you run on a hamster wheel for? How long can you run on a treadmill for? You're going to eventually press stop. And if you don't have that funnel, once you stop, where the fuck is your leads coming from? Where's your sales coming from? Where's your nurturing? It's all gone.
So we actually had this conversation based around funnel hacking live that's just happened now, and we, for us, we always used to laugh because we had a retail business that was a franchise, and we broke the rules a little bit in terms of profit margin. So ours was always about 20% higher than the other shops. So our revenue was always on par or a little bit lower, but the quality of our profit outdid every other shop. So we always had money to expand, to do marketing, to do, to attract more customers, to grow, and they could never understand the difference. And the biggest conversation that we're having now is, let's take for instance the 2 Comma Club. Is we are measuring the wrong thing in this industry. We're measuring revenue. Revenue is, let's take expenses out and then start showing people what we're really making. And that will be the true thing. Is all of a sudden you realize that if you put R1 million into ads or $1 million into ads, you make $1 million through a funnel, you've made no money. So, but everybody sees that person as like the person they want to work with. And that's also one of the challenges here is like, if you look at did you ever watch a program called Pimp My Ride?
I caught glimpses of it, but I was never into cars, so it didn't sort of catch on in our house. But I've seen bits.
One of my questions was always, okay, so they take these cars that are really shitty and they make them like really cool and they pimp them out and put lights and wheels and stuff on. But my question was always like, what happens to the car? If the guy couldn't look after it before the time, what happens now? And it's the same with client results online. It's like, is everybody showing their clients landing other clients, but do those clients get results? We want to see ongoing results, not just I landed a client. Because anybody, to be quite honest, I know people that landed 5K clients. I know the level of their work. It is not worth 5K, but you never hear after that. And that for me is quite like, when I mention that, like people get a little bit offensive, around it, which I understand. It's a bit of controversy to say, show us the ongoing stuff. What happens to that client? It's easy to say we made X amount of money per month, but did your clients get that money? Because are you making money off new clients, or are you making money off existing relationships that you're just drawing more money out of the client, which is ideally what you want? It's, as I said, we've got a finite amount of people. So we're trying to get the most money out of a single person that we can possibly do, which means you're doing a good job. You've built a relationship and you're growing your business based on fewer people, better relationships.
And you're right, aren't you? Obviously, like if you can keep a core, and they call it like your raving fans, don't you? And keep being able to provide value to that raving fan base, then obviously you increase the lifetime value of a customer, which means you have to hustle less, which means you have to you don't have to send as many DMs, you don't have to run as many ads because you're increasing the lifetime value of a customer. But the only way you're going to do that, instead of like oh yeah, got a high ticket sale, fantastic. And as you say, like, what happened to that person that bought? Yeah, they give me a testimonial because I got them one sale, and now I just use that testimonial for marketing purposes. And it happens in the industry so much. It's a little bit sad. But then, as you say, like from the perspective of like that increasing that lifetime value of a customer, like that's not going to happen if you don't have the automated systems in place. And that starts with like a lead magnet funnel, a low ticket product funnel, like a tripwire. Like, it starts with something like that, moves them into the back end, obviously. So you give them what you've promised them, you move them into the back end, which is email marketing or a Facebook group or somewhere you could build a community and touch base with them. And then from there, obviously, you keep going. If it's email marketing, it's great, isn't it? Because you can just have so many emails scheduled. Like, I know my series is about 30 emails before I ever have to send them an email again. So, like, for 30 days straight, they just get in touch, and then they'll just go into the general sequences. And that's all, like, apart from writing an email a day, it's like just focusing on getting that email and then just focus on continuing providing value via email. We send them to Facebook groups. We send them to YouTube videos. But all of that's like evergreen stuff. Like, I don't have to hustle. I don't have to keep burning out because it's shit.
So I want to come back to a point where you said, people that host programs based around without without. You know that when someone says without, for me, it's when someone says without means you're adding something somewhere else. So if you without a funnel, that means you're adding hours to your day because you have to do it manually. Without email, so that means you have to do even more conversations now. Without, so the challenge that and I was kind of given this question to ponder on, and saying to me that when you are dealing with a coach, are they teaching you something that they are doing, or are they teaching you something that they say they're doing but they're not doing? So for example, if they're saying to you without funnels, without emails, without that, why are they doing funnels, why are they doing emails, and why are they doing? So it's like to me it's like then your values are not aligned with what you're teaching me. So it's an easy, the biggest problem with the online world is that the only way that we are getting people in is by making bigger claims. You know, by saying, and I mean, that was the same with me. You know, make 10K within 3 months coming online. I mean, that bit me to get me online. Thank God that I'm, you know, I don't know if it's hard-headed or dumb enough to carry on this long, but we're still here after 2 years. But it's like, you know, so it's like it's only the claims that can get bigger. And how do you do claims is by taking difficult things out of it. And I think that's the challenge with coaches, is that they are selling a false pretense firstly, and it's not helping people build a long-term business. So I'll give you an example. I mean, I've gone headfirst into low ticket funnels. Like, it's been my focus for the last, probably since March this year, just understanding how they work, how to transition, and how that, and without a doubt, for me, it's the best automation if you do it properly, that you can possibly get. Because firstly, everybody, when they think of low ticket, think of low quality. I'm talking about the coaches putting the product out there. Most of them will put out something for $5 or $10 that will be so shit. That's like a 3-page PDF that you're like, this was a waste of my money. But because they think it's only $3 or $5, they don't put any effort in. And this is where the guys are standing out above. It's like, you know, it's just provide someone with something that took you a bit of time to do, because it's going to stand the length of time. Don't do it because you need to pay for something immediately at this moment. And that's just a mindset shift. We've all gone through those months where we're like, oh shit, I don't know how I'm going to pay for my software. I don't know how I'm going to pay for it. It's part of entrepreneurship. We have to start there. But the difference is knowing, like, you're going through hell now, but just do it in a way that in 2 years' time, you're proud of what you put out. Not like people were like, fuck, you know, I bought that thing from Brian. Like, it was literally like copy paste from everybody else. And coming back to the automation of low ticket is just, once you understand that by putting a funnel in place, I could be sitting on the beach, I could be sleeping, I could be eating, I could be on the loo, whatever. There's someone coming in on the front end that I've put effort in once to build this whole process, and I don't have to worry about it ever again until they become one-on-one clients on the back end, or group coaching, or whatever you've got on the high end. You know, you can acquire clients completely automated that you don't even know who's coming in. And because you've set up certain automations, like, you know, and by automations, I think we just need to simplify it for whoever's listening. In terms of automations, we mean that the delivery of whatever you're selling doesn't require you to push any buttons. So meaning, once they buy a course, they get an email with access. Once they join a Facebook, once they get it, they get access to the Facebook group. Once they, you know, they go into automatic email sequence. It's stuff like that, what we mean by automation. Because also automation in the beginning was like a little bit confusing for me, because automation of what? You don't really know what it stands for, you know? So, and I think that's what coaches are missing out at. And the other thing with automation is that I think the biggest challenge with entrepreneurs is, I know I had it, when you hit your first good month, instead of reinvesting it and building out, let's say for instance, so you were doing organic marketing and you made whatever, 5K, 10K that month, take money and build the foundation. Don't go and blow it on a party and a new whatever Louis Vuitton handbag, and like, just put it back into, you know, actually, like, for instance, building an automated funnel, because all of a sudden your income can now be a lot more stable by building that foundation in place. Then next month going from hero to zero, and then realizing, shit, I maybe should have put something away for a rainy day.
Yeah, and I think obviously, like, the concept of, like, it can be generating your leads, obviously, as long as your traffic source is evergreen or paid. It can be generating your lead like 24/7. And as you say, you can be anywhere. You can be like, because like in all seriousness, the hardest bit about online business or any business is lead generation.
Yeah.
It is the hardest part. Like just constantly having that lead flow coming in. So if you can get them in, give them true value through a lead magnet or a low ticket funnel, like or low ticket product, and really give them something that way to get a result, and then keep that automation coming in with like the emails, etc. Then you're just gonna have an easy time, because instead of like trying to focus on bringing the lead in, increasing all the conversations, trying to make sure they get a result, then obviously trying to make sure you know where they are at to then try and obviously bring them back to or sell them on something else. Like all of that is going to take you away from the hardest part of business, which is lead gen. So like if you can get your back end sorted and just have to focus on lead generation, the game changes, because you know like how then you can work on how much you need to spend to get a lead, how much does a lead, how many leads convert, how many leads spend this, what's your average cart value, what's your lifetime value of a customer. All of these things you can work out to then work out your marketing budget and your lead generation budget. And you can just focus on lead gen, and then from there, which is actually once you focus and understand how to do lead gen, then you can outsource it, which means then you've removed yourself from every process.
Yeah.
Because you've built, as you say, you've built those foundations first, not try to build it as you're falling, as you're falling into those scenarios. Like, right, okay, yeah, I've got a members area with all videos and records and stuff like that. Right, okay, I've got an extended VSL that I can send to them after the low ticket product to increase the booked calls, like all of those things. Like it's worth putting the time in. Now, for instance, like a brand new person who's starting an online business, or within the first 6 months, what would be the first funnel you'd recommend they build?
So it's a great question. Before we carry on with that question, I think coming back to the man hours and stuff like that, I want to give you an example of something that happened. So I had a conversation with a client doing quite well. I mean, they were sitting at on average about $30,000 a month, which is a good business. And at that point, they were using an appointment setter. And I was saying, listen, you're clearly making money now, so let's allocate something to build out a lead or a funnel for you. We can use a low ticket funnel. We can do a high ticket VSL funnel. Like I'll provide you with different strategies. And at that point, they said to me that no, the appointment setter is working well, and he doesn't believe that a funnel is the way to go. And literally 2 days later, the appointment setter took up and left. And all of a sudden, guess who filled the gap? The coach. So from going into group coaching, taking the sales calls, now he had to do the appointment setting as well. And it's like, he hit a rocky month. I mean, they went down to I think he ended up on 9K the next month. And you're like, there was that's the exact opportunity. It's like, you've got an offer that's converting really well. So exactly like you said, don't implement a funnel from the beginning, because unless you have experience and success in building offers, if it's your first time, you don't need it, because I think you're overcomplicating things. Get a proven test that it works, people want to buy it, and then grow it from there. But once again, that was, they thought their business was automated and they were removed, but they were still relying on people. And that's the biggest challenge. And I'm not talking about people as in sales, people closing deals. I'm talking about the lead generation part. That was, if the lead generation stops, his business is dead, which is exactly what happened. He could close the sales because he was very good at it, but he had no one coming in to close the sales. So, once again, the automation was not so automated after all. So, it's coming back to starting out your first business. For me, it's all depending on what you want to do. So I'll give you an example. We're working with a lot of female clients that are coming online with, a lot of them in the manifestation space, a lot of them in the yoga space, a lot of them in the health and fitness space. And a lot of them have been offline and they're now transitioning online. And there's quite a cool divide between them wanting to be very active in the business and them wanting to be very automated in their business. So some of them have already created all these assets. So they're just saying, listen, I don't want to know anything. Just build something that's automated. I want to sell my coaching programs and stuff like that without me. If I have to do the high ticket stuff where I arrive on a group coaching call, that's all I want to do. I don't want to know anything before that. And then others are saying, I want to be a lot more involved. I want to be on calls daily. I want to do, be in a Discord group. I want to be, so it's all depending on the person that starts out. Don't get shoved in this box by, you have to have group coaching, this and then this and then this. Decide for you. It was one of the fundamental shifts, is create the business for you. Don't create you for the business, if it makes sense. Like, what lifestyle do you want? If you're someone that wants to work, there's people that love working 14 hours a day. I don't judge you. If you love it, then go for it. But there's some people that only want to work 3-4 hours a day because they want to do other things. So decide that. And I think, I mean, the underlying secret is that all funnels work. Brian, you'll know it. It's the strategy, the way you implement it, the delivery, that if it's going to work or not. So there's obviously certain strategies per funnel that work, but it's for the client to decide, do they want to sell high ticket? Do they want to sell low ticket? So if it was me starting out, the first funnel that I would create is booking a call funnel, because ultimately you want to create a little bit of a buffer for you in terms of, money in your bank so that you can start growing. How do you do that? By booking people on a call so that you can firstly learn sales calls and then close them into a high ticket stuff, whether that's 1,000, whether that's 5,000, so that you can also just build up a bit of confidence. You can have then money to then start taking. I think the biggest thing is you start buying time, and by buying time, you can then start creating other assets, and other assets being a book, being a low ticket course, being a, just other assets that you can use to generate leads. And then what I would do is create a proper low ticket funnel that then plugs into your high ticket funnel, because then you can generate clients completely automated, and the select ones that want to work with you one-on-one can then book calls with you from your low ticket funnel, completely automated. I mean, we've got clients doing this that they don't know, they don't even ask where the client came from. They know it's off paid ads, and they know that the funnel is structured in a way that, you see, the biggest thing that we're noticing is how many people are scared of paid ads. I mean, I was terrified because in a previous business, I lost paid ads like crazy because I didn't understand what a funnel did, and I didn't understand how to structure it. If you do it properly on a low ticket funnel, you can make back your money the same day on the ad, because of the way the funnel is structured, because the way people buy. So from then on, the client becomes a high ticket client, and ultimately that's a free client because he's already paid for himself through the funnel that you've structured in the beginning. So there's different strategies. I mean, I could talk hours on strategies and stuff like that. So it's just that's what I would do if I was starting out.
Right. Okay. So you go for book a call funnel, and then you'd go into a low ticket funnel, which then obviously pays for your ad spend, etc., which then generates your high ticket clients as 100% free.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So I mean, sorry to cut this short. I mean, as important as it is to do like a lead magnet to an email list and stuff like that, if you're starting out, you firstly don't really have the skills of sending out emails. So there's no value there. Plus, it takes a long time to transition those clients into actually spending money. So once you've got your high ticket clients coming in, you've got money to spend on a low ticket funnel, then you're collecting emails at the same time, and you've got money to put the sequence into place. Now you've got like a best of both worlds. You're earning a bit of money here, you're funding this one, and then your hamster wheel starts turning in terms of your business, but your hamster wheel slows down in terms of you physically running on it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that makes total sense. So let's go for the book a call funnel, because that's going to be obviously what you suggested people go with and start with. And to be fair, most people do. But most people just stick with it on the DM side. And obviously we've seen how many actions that takes. It's like 2,000 actions a month, which obviously is the road to burnout. So from a book a call funnel, what makes a book a call funnel convert?
So it's basically, so always, and this is the challenge when you're starting out, is always social proof, testimonials, stuff like that. But it's also based on so book a call funnel generally has a VSL, which is a video, right? So you basically on the video taking them through the emotional state of showing them, I was where you are, and this is how terrible it can get, but I found a way, and this is how we're going to climb out the other side. And that is generally what the VSL is showing them that I was in your shoes, but I'm on this side now, and this is how I'm going to help you get there as well. And by triggering the emotions and stuff like that, the right emotions, they can get people to literally be like, I mean, I've been through it. That's how I can tell you. It's like, dude, this guy knows what I'm going through. That's what you want. It's like, the biggest challenge that we see with videos is saying like, this is how good I am and this is what I can do. And Brian, I can build you a funnel. And the client's like, dude, I don't give a shit. Like, what can you do for me? Like, yes, the mechanism you're using is cool, but I couldn't care about that mechanism. What is it going to do for me? And that's what they miss. That, I think that's the emotional connection that prevents people from saying, I want to work with you, to I not want to work with you. So, I mean, in this sense, like I work with a full-time copywriter that does the VSL scripts, because it's the difference between someone saying, I want to book a call, or someone saying, fuck, I've seen 100 of these, I'll go somewhere else. So that for me is, and then we test. So typical book a call funnel would be, so the landing page would be a video. Dude, it can literally be a headline, which is ultimately important, and the video, and that's it. Once you get testimonials and case studies and stuff, you just start putting it underneath it so people can see, listen, you've generated results, you've tried, you've worked with certain brands, etc. The next page, we test a lot. So the next page can either be a survey page, because you don't want anybody working with you. You don't want a tire kicker that's wasting your time. So the next page would be a survey page where you can lay down certain questions that you want, so that you can read them before the call to know, I mean, what kind of money do they have? Are they ready to invest? Stuff like that. You can structure questions in a way. And then the next page, they take them through to a calendar where they then book a call with you. And something that's working really well is, don't let them book a call further than 3 days out. If you can get them on a call the same day, like literally now, then do it. But generally 3 days is okay, because further than that, their most intentional moment of purchasing is right now. You don't get it higher than them saying, dude, I need your help now. So try and get that call as quickly as possible. And I think that's the difference between a shitty show-up rate and a really good show-up rate. And then obviously you take them to a thank you page. And on the thank you page, you're just taking them through what to expect next, how to show up to the call, explaining to them that you're going to get an email that'll show you maybe a bit of homework. That'll, you're trying to use, the beauty of this funnel is you're trying to use, once again, automation, which is emails, to get the person to like you more between now and the call, and also keep you top of mind to actually show up for the call, because that's the difference between, bless you, that's the difference between, money on the table. You've paid for this client, so you got to get them to show up, because if they don't show up, you got no chance of closing the call. So that's once again where the automation comes in.
So what I like about this call is that you've got an opt-in page with video headline. Okay, they go through that process. You've collected the email, then you go into the extended VSL. Correct? Yep. Okay, and VSL, guys, video sales letter. It's basically just a video. It's not like this, obviously, because this is an interview, but it's basically you're on video and you're talking about where you started, the journey, what changed, where you're at now, and then obviously how you can help people. And then you push people to book a call. They go into that link, they click it, then obviously they go into an application. So you can build it either in the book a call software, or you can build it in the funnel, whichever obviously you want to do.
Yeah.
Then from there, they book the call within 3 days if they can. And then on the back end, when they go to the thank you page, it's videos, it's homework. It's what you'll find is, as you go through taking sales calls and talking to people and learning their objections, you can turn them into video trainings to handle those objections on the thank you page before they even get a call. So if they've watched those homeworks, and you can basically send out an automated email, hey, obviously our call's tomorrow, have you watched the homework? If not, here's the videos. And then obviously you can just keep reaffirming that, because if you can handle those objections on those videos, that is going to increase your sales call close rate. And what we do tend to say in the closing industry is, for every $1,000 you want them to spend, you want them to consume an hour's worth of your content. So if you've got an extended VSL of like 30 minutes, maybe 20, then you've got homework of 3 20-minute pieces. And then you can direct them to either a YouTube video that you've done or a blog where they spend time consuming your content. You're increasing that hours that they've spent time with you without you being there, which will then ultimately help you close that deal as well.
Which is automation. So the one thing that's working, so we actually test between having an opt-in page or sending them straight through to the VSL. So we've seen mixed data depending on the market. So you can test between having just an opt-in page to collect the email or sending them straight through to the VSL page. The next thing that I would do for people building a VSL funnel is like, you see, the problem is like, we know what we're trying to do, but the customer on that end feels a little bit overwhelmed, so speak to them like a 5-year-old. So for instance, let's say they go to the application page, have a video there saying, thank you for showing interest. Down below is a questionnaire. If you can just fill that out so we can get a better understanding of who you are, what you do, how much money you make, etc. And then just make sure that you click the submit button afterwards, which will then be taken to a calendar page. Then on the calendar page, you say, hey, so thanks for filling out the application. Down below, you'll see a calendar. On there, just choose a date and a time. Make sure you fill in your details, and then just make sure you submit, or you click submit again. So literally by putting out, that was like 30 seconds for 2 videos. And literally by just doing that, you've taken the oh fuck, what do I do now? Or have I done it correctly? To just walking them through the steps. And by simple walking them through the steps, you just get more people to, we've got emails from people that are like, I can't find the buy button. And you're like, it's the big green one at the bottom. And they're like, oh, is that? You'll know. It's literally so you've got to cater for, always assume that they are way behind. Rather make it so simple that everyone understands. They make it so complicated that only a few understand. And I think that's the difference. So that's what we try to do, is just walk them through the process, because obviously the more you walk them through, the less chances of them falling through the cracks and forgetting to for instance, the application they can forget to do, but if they don't book a call, you're stuck. What do you do? So it's just, I think that's the crucial points about making that. And then obviously the emails is crucial, like you said, not just for FaceTime. I've booked calls with people where they sent me enough content that on the call, I literally felt like I knew everything about them, but I'd never spoken to them. And then it's done well. Then okay, listen, I literally just, some of the calls you get on, you're like, okay, how much? I know everything. And then that it's done really well. And that's the client you want. Is I don't want to go through a 40-minute process. Just tell me how much it is, because I've already decided that I want to work with you.
Yeah, and do you know what I mean? That's absolutely right. If you can get your concept pieces right in between, and the homework pieces, handling your objections, by the time you get to that call, and I've been on it before. I remember it was actually my first ever high ticket course that I purchased. It was actually Dan Locke's HTC program, obviously to learn how to do sales calls. And I remember booking a call and jumped on the guys. The guy obviously jumped on the call, and he started to. I went, listen, and I didn't even know sales at that point. I went, listen. I was like, I'm sold. What's the price and what are their options? What are your payment options? And he was like, what? I was like, what's your price and what's your payment options? I was like, I'm sold. It's a no-brainer. I was like, I've watched that much content. I've become engrossed in sales. Just tell me what it is. It was the quickest close he said he ever had. Yeah, just take my money. I was like, I've got a problem and I need it solving.
Yeah, it's either you or my wife, so you better take it.
Yeah, because I know she's just going to go to the shop and come back with a load of crap.
Exactly.
So, yeah, it's me or my wife. And then there was another piece that you sort of mentioned that I thought was absolutely golden, but it's gone. I got excited, basically saying my wife can't have the money. But you're right, and that whole process, it streamlines everything. Then all you have to focus on is getting people to the landing page to opt in or go to the VSL, and that's it. You don't have to. You've automated all those conversations. You've automated these things, and even though people will be scared of, oh, it's too techy. There's simple ways of doing it, isn't there? There's you can I know, for instance, we spoke about Russell Brunson and 2 Comma Club and that before. He actually says he tells you in one of his books, don't he, his biggest converting lead magnet funnel, and it actually turns out to be his ugliest funnel.
Yeah,
it's not it was that Marketing Secrets on with the chain or the chains around the book or the black book, and it's his ugliest funnel. Believe you me, I've gone through enough of them, and it's his ugliest one yet it converts. So it doesn't have. You don't need to be going for grand designers to start with. Just 100%. Get the process right and take them through the journey, so when you do pick up the phone, they know about. That was it. What I did was the falling through the cracks with the explainer videos everywhere. obviously for people like myself and you who've been in the game like a long time now, it's a case of like we just sort of like book a call funnel, like ding 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 ding, and that's the process that the client or the customer or the lead's got to go through. I've never ever, and I'll be honest, like I've never ever thought about, well, obviously because we just know these funnels inside out. Like, oh, do they know where to go, or like do they know what to press, or do they know what to do next? I was like, a little explainer video on every little step going, hey, yeah, just fill in this application form, then just click this little button here, probably put a bit of B-roll up showing that there's the bloody button for the guy who didn't know where the green button was. And like just little things like that. I was like, that is actually really, really clever because it's like it's showing that you've took the time to understand your customer to go, hey, you may not know this process. This may be the first application you've ever like booked or whatever. And this is how you do it. I love that personal touch. I thought that was pretty golden.
You know, I think it comes down to we do so much effort, whether it is organic with 500 messages or whether it is paid ads. We do so much effort up front to get the client, and then when they get there, you give them a shitty experience. And I think that's the difference between taking the time to actually go that 1% further than what everybody else is doing, and just the client is there. Try get as many of them through as you possibly can. That's the ultimate goal. But and I see that's where a lot of it falls short. It's just like they don't test the funnel. They don't. I mean, I'll give you a background. You said the ugliest funnel. I have zero design background. Zero. Like I am the least creative person you'll ever meet. So, but for me, it's like we mixed. For me, the strategy is the cool part. The strategy and understanding the structure of the funnel. And then, like I said to you, like with those little videos, like that excites me because that's the stuff that you can learn that doesn't necessarily have to look good. So thank God I got an eye that can make a funnel look decent, that someone can just say, you know, the branding looks good on the funnel. I mean, we don't spend 16 hours trying to put the little green little background, you know, shadow there, but it's just about just understanding that. I mean, if I can build funnels and I got no design background, then anybody else can, if they just start understanding the sequence of what it goes through and ultimately the bigger goal about what are you trying to achieve with this thing. You're trying to achieve a long-term business because you can actually get the time to go do something else other than sit and send out 500 DMs a morning.
Oh yeah, it's absolutely insane, isn't it? And I think obviously like the value of a funnel, like, if people are going to tell you, and like just to circle back, if people are going to go, listen, you don't need to build these complicated funnels. They're not really that complicated. They're just trying to scare you, trying to make you feel like you can't go anywhere else. Like okay, fine. If I'm not going to build a funnel, or I'm not going to send out an email, or I'm not going to do this, and I'm not going to do that, that basically means you just want me to do it all. Which isn't the reason you started an online business. Like you started an online business to become free, not to basically create a self-created job. And I think that basically does it, doesn't it?
I mean, if you listen to what Hormozi's been speaking about lately, for those of you who haven't, like, look up Alex Hormozi because his content is phenomenal. But he was saying, like, if you can wait 6 months, it's great. If you can wait a year, it's fantastic. If you can wait 10 years, you'll be unbelievably successful. It's the delayed gratification of solving what's itching your ass now. And what is that? Fancy stuff, blingy stuff, shit that you don't need to spend on. Take that money that you're earning and build something better for your business. I mean, it's a perfect example. Everybody has money to go and buy the iPhone, but no one has money to run ads. You're like, the priorities are wrong. It's like the iPhone is not going to, it's going to last you 2 years and it's broken. This funnel is going to last you 2 years. And by that stage, you've made tens of thousands of dollars, millions of dollars, if it works out that well, and growing. So it's just about putting, you know, it's about understanding like the short-term pain for the long-term gain, or that quick buck that you're trying to make now, but it's going to have to keep being a quick buck because now you start juggling time because you don't have the foundation in place to pretty much move to the next level.
And I think obviously, like, in terms of the funnel side, you are right. It's a mindset thing, isn't it? It's like people get into this to make more money. I totally get that, and I understand that they get into this because they want to quit their job. Yeah, absolutely fine. But do you want to quit your job in 3 months and then be back at it in 6?
Yeah.
Or do you want to quit your job for life? Like, you are building a business. A business is for life. Like, you want to be building something that will last forever. Like, even if the case of, like, obviously you die and like, but your business has ran without you because you've built automated systems. You've delayed that gratification. Like, Like some people get dead excited. It's like, oh yeah, I'm like, I got my first high ticket sale within 3 months. Fantastic, congratulations! You've learned how to get a lead into a sale. Right, okay. Oh, now let's have a look at the ROI. How many hours did you spend on it?
Yeah.
Okay, right now you're actually earning $2 an hour when in your job you were earning $15, $20 an hour. So you're actually losing money because time's one thing you can't buy back. So you have to be precious with it. And you have to look after it in different ways. Funnels is definitely the way to do that. And it's like, as you say, if you can delay that, I'm right, okay, I know I'm not going to make proper money for 3 months, but then I'll start making consistent money that doesn't require me to sit at my desk 24/7. That has got to be 10 times better than getting a high ticket sale, but effectively working $2 an hour.
Yeah, I mean, in you know, I think in ending off, it's like if you look at anybody that we all got people that we look up to, and the reason you start an online business is because you've seen someone else that you look up to have an online business, living the lifestyle that you want to live. Those guys, I mean, when you join the online through Clickfunnels, what is the ultimate goal? 2 Comma Club. How do those guys earn 2 Comma Club? Through a funnel. It's like, you know, when you look at anybody, you look at Russell Brunson, you look at Tony Robbins, you look at Lewis Howes, you look at Alex Hormozi, you can name anybody. How did they make the money that they do? Is because they've got time to do other shit. Why? Because they've got a funnel in place that's consistently bringing them customers, consistently transitioning them through whatever strategy they've put in place. And they use completely different strategies, but yet it's a bulletproof strategy for what they're trying to do. And that's the difference. Is like, figure out what you're trying to do and build a strategy around that, not what someone else is telling you not to do, because in the back they're actually doing it. So yeah,
it's interesting that obviously you've listed all those like A-list celebrities, like the A-list celebrities in our world, and I think that's pretty crucial. Like obviously Hormozi, like millionaire, like Russell Brunson, millionaire, Tony Robbins, millionaire, like all in different, like slightly different niches. But as you say, like their marketing angles may be slightly different. Like obviously their lead generation strategies may be slightly different. Like Gary Vee posts 1 million pieces of content a day, and then like obviously Russell does ads, does organic, does YouTube. Like Tony Robbins does a lot. Like, but as you say, like they all have a different slight angle on their marketing efforts, their content creation to pull people in. But every single one of them pulls people into a funnel.
100%.
Like, whereas all these coaches, like who have pop-up coaches that have been around for like a year, 6 months, 2 years, oh yeah, like, and they're all hustling on Facebook. All of them will not survive unless they change. Yep. All of them will go because they are doing it. They're doing it the spike way, not the long-term success way. Yeah. Yes, I can get you a quick buck. Yes, I can make you $1,000 by following this strategy. But yes, you're going to burn out. Yes, you're going to hate your business. And yes, you'll probably end up going back to work because it's actually less effort.
Yeah.
Right? Because none of them, because they all want to avoid build a fucking funnel.
I think it's just about learning. There's not a lot of them that understand it or want to spend the time understanding it, because as you said, like the quick buck that's happening now is fantastic. It's actually quite comfortable, and you're earning $20,000, $30,000, $40,000. It seems long term, but nothing ever lasts long term. The markets change, products change, people change, circumstances change. So it's just about use what's available now, and even leverage other people, their skill set, their knowledge, their whatever, to help you implement it, so that you can kind of withstand the test of changes, and just be prepared for what's coming. Don't shit yourself when it's happening and try and implement something that you'll most likely get either shitty quality or scammed out of, just because of the emotional pressure that you're under.
And you're right. You've got to, like you say, business is long term. Like, build a business that's going to last, not a business that got you a couple of grand, got you a holiday to Mexico, and now you're back working for, I don't know, AT&T or O2, like anyone like that. So you're right. So funnels are critical. Like, if you want to survive in this world, funnels are going to be critical because it automates the back end. Like, if people want to like learn more, talk to you a little bit more about funnels and how they can implement it in their business, where should they go?
So the easiest for me is to visit finestfunnels.com. There I've put a simple page together of work that we've done for other clients, and there's a calendar there if they want to book. And then otherwise, reach us in the DMs, whatever you want. It's like whatever is preferably your way to reach out. So yeah, other than that, thank you for having me on. I really appreciate it.
My pleasure, buddy. So, guys, if you are watching live or replay, finestfunnels.com is the first link in the YouTube description. So go ahead, click on that, see what Guylin and his team are doing for funnels, see how they can help you, or if you just need a chat with Guylin about those like funnels. Obviously, we've spoke a lot about different little types of funnels, what's best for your business. 100% go to that link in the YouTube description and take a look. You will not regret it, because you will survive. You will be that 1 out of 5 who survives in 2 years' time, because you put the right foundations, the right automations in place. Thank you so much, bud. As usual, I love it, obviously, because we talk the same language. We love to geek out on it. It's all good fun, mate. No, so thank you so much for coming on, mate. And anything I can do, just give me a shout.
Anytime, mate. Thanks for having us.
Cheers, guys.